seconds. So after I sit.
Mm-hmm.
This is beautiful.
Good morning, yogis. I'm Teresa and this is Dennis. We've been at Buccaneer State Park all weekend, and this is the beach in Waveland, Mississippi. Get the beautiful ocean view behind us today. Let's set an intention this morning in easy pose and take some long, deep breaths. Notice how each breath, how long you take on an inhale, and keep a good mindful intention to have the same length on your exhale. And let's open up our lungs this morning. Now let's take our hands and interlace them behind our backs. And we're just going to take our hands all the way over to our left side and gently take our left ear all the way over to our left shoulder. Feel that stretch, and then you can take a half circle with your nose down to your front chest and back up. Good job. Return to center. Now take your hands over to the right side. And let's take our right ear over to our right shoulder. That's a nice stretch. And then you can take your nose and make half circles with it. Release your hands. We're going to take them into a tabletop position. We're going to do a little wrist warm up this morning. We're going to go forward with our body weight and take our sit bones back towards the heels. You can curl your toes under in this position and stretch your toes out while you're doing this. Good morning stretch. Breathe deep. You can take a couple of circles here if your body tells you that feels good. No yoga robots this morning. And breathe in and out. Now take your hands closer to your knees and turn them back towards your body. We're going to come back towards our sit bones and allow our hands to come off the mat. Then you can pedal your hands out here if that feels good. And just give it a gentle stretch. Now take your hands to the outer edges of your mat, closer together, and then we're going to draw 2 circles to the right and 2 to the left. Now come into tabletop position. Keep your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. We're going to extend our right leg back, stretch it back as far as you can, and then drop your toes down on the mat. We're going to lean forward and backwards and feel that stretch in the back of your leg. We're setting up for balancing tabletop on the left side. You kick your right leg out, followed by your left arm. And we breathe. Let's set an intention for our yoga today. And know why you showed up for yourself. One more deep breath, return it to the mat. Now kick your left leg back, lengthen it as far as you can back, and then drop it down to the mat. We're going to stretch it out here. Raise your left leg up, followed by your right arm. Balancing tabletop. As we breathe into these poses, with each breath reminds us to stay in the present moment. And this present moment is all that truly matters, is to stay present and focus on right here, right now. Bring your hands back to the mat, knees back in tabletop. Now we're going to set up. Bring your hands to the left side of your mat. Kick your right foot up. And do a little lizard lunge on the right. Curl your right toe out if that feels good. And come down on your forearms. You can stack your hands and put your forehead on your hands. Take a little rest here and breathe. Focus on your breath. During this practice, you'll bring your breath to a place called your Ujjayi breath, your yogi breath. It'll sound like an ocean in the back of your throat. Push back up on your hands. Come up on your toes here, and let's take a couple of circles. Now drop your left knee back down to the mat. We're going to push our hands back and come into a split here. A half split. Keep a micro bend in your knees. And with each inhale and exhale, allow your stretch to go deeper into your knee. Now roll back up. Kick your knee back. Take your hands to the right side. And we're going to kick our left foot up and set up for lizard on the left side. You can extend your right leg back until it's comfortable. You can roll out on your left foot. Come down on your forearms. And breathe. Your gaze is toward the mat or right in front of you. Focus on your intent today and remind yourself to stay in the present moment with each breath. We're planting a seed today and letting our yoga grow. We can set good habits or bad habits for ourselves. And yoga can definitely be a good habit. Push up on your hands. Kick up on your back toe. Take a couple of circles here. Open up that hip. Then we're going to drop our right knee down and come into a half split with our left leg. Roll your body weight back toward your sit bones and come down towards your knee, keeping a micro bend in your left knee. Now we're going to roll back up on our knee, kick our knee back, and come back into hero pose. Shake your hands out, roll them out, do what feels good here. You can come up on your toes here, give them a good stretch. We wear so many improper shoes. We need to love on our feet every chance we get in these yoga asana poses. Now we're going to work on a little core work. We're going to set up in plank. We're going to roll out onto our right side this morning. Kick it up to the sky. Look at that beautiful gaze. Once you have your stance here and your focus, you can bring your left foot up towards your left armpit and hold it there and engage that prana in that core. Take 2 long breaths here. Then bring your left foot all the way to the front of your mat. We're going to set up for a crescent lunge. Your back heel will be off the mat when you come up. Find your crescent and breathe like you love yourself. Good job. Now, Take your arms all the way out, stadium arms. Open your chest up to the sky. And bring it back up. Now we're going to take our right hand to the mat and open our left shoulder and our arms to the sky. And breathe deep here. Now cartwheel your hand down. Kick your left leg back. High plank. Now we're going to do a chaturanga. Let's go halfway down. Push it back up. Then we're going to come down slow as we can to the mat. Curl your toes to face the mat. Push up to a cobra. Your gaze is left and right. Good job. Push back up to plank. Now we're going to roll over onto our left side. Side plank to the left. Beautiful gaze this morning. Take your right foot towards your right armpit. Set up here. Engage that prana. Now take your right foot and plant it, and let's set up for crescent lunge. And we come up high. Feel like you're holding a beach ball over your head here. Like you're reaching towards the sky. Now let's open our chest and our hearts up to the sky. Bring it back up. Take your left hand down to the mat. Take your right hand to the sky. These side twists are amazing for your inner organs and your digestive system. They love us all throughout our day. Bring your right hand back down. Let's kick it back in vinyasa. Halfway down. Push it back. Now come all the way down. This time we're going to do a baby cobra. Left and right. And bring our elbows to our shoulders and our hands out front. And come into a Sphinx pose. Return to your breath here. You can push up to seal for a deeper stretch. If you feel anything in your back, any sensation, go back down to Sphinx or widen the back of your feet as wide as your yoga mat. Be where you are today. Feel that stretch. Now we're going to bring our hands, come back down to the mat. Bring your hands down to your shoulders. Push back up to plank. And down dog. Good job. Pedal your dog out here. Drop your head down in between your hands and find your alignment. And let's take 3 breaths here. Now we're going to plant our left foot, kick our right foot to the sky. Curl your right knee in. Open it up, stack your hips over to the left. Come up on your right fingertips and your gaze will be under your right shoulder. And breathe. Now bring your right knee to hover to your right elbow. Plank. Engage this. Kick it back. Now bring it up and plant it. We're going to set up for Warrior One. Your left foot is your anchor. It's on the ground as you come up 2 parallel lines. Your left foot is at a 45-degree angle. Your right leg is at a 90-degree angle, and you should be able to look down and your gaze on the inner part of your leg and see your big toe. Now let's open up to Warrior Two. Your back foot is going to be parallel with the back of your mat, and your gaze is going to be over your right arm. And we're going to square our hips towards the front of the mat and focus on our breath. Interlace your hands behind your back. We're going to set up here for Humble Warrior. We're going to peel our upper body all the way down, and if your head comes to the knee, great. If you'd like to drop it all the way to the mat, keep going. Find your gratitude today, and find your humble warrior. You're going to have an attitude of gratitude and be humble. Engage that prana. Release your hands. Come back up. Set back up in Warrior Two. Drop your left hand down and reverse it. Now we're going to cartwheel our hands down. Our right hand will come to the mat and our left hand to the sky. Now bring your left hand to the mat, frame your right foot, kick it back. Go down halfway, kick it back up. Now let's go all the way to the mat. Good job. Push up to baby cobra. Now let's set up and do a little Sphinx and seal pose, whatever feels good to your body. Take your feet as wide as the mat. Push up to seal here for a minute if that feels good, if you've been in Sphinx. Come back down. Take your hands down by your shoulders. Kick it back up to plank. We're going to meet in downward dog. Pedal it out. Notice how each dog feels different. Plant your right foot down. Kick your left foot to the sky. Now bend your knee. Stack it over your right hip. Come up on your left fingertips, and your gaze will be under your left shoulder. Now bring your left knee to your left elbow, hovering plank. Kick it back up. Now we're going to plant it in between our hands and come up for our Warrior One. Your back anchor will be on the ground. If your back heel is coming off the ground, bring it a little closer to your body. When you find your warrior, take your sit bones down towards the earth and lengthen your spine towards the sky. Let's open up to Warrior Two. Your gaze will be over your left middle finger all the way out. Interlace your hands behind your back. Let's find our humble warrior on the left side. Stretch down with your hands all the way to your sit bones, and let's take it down. Find something to be grateful for today and humble yourself into gratitude for it. Release your fingertips. Now come up strong into your Warrior One. And come back into your Warrior Two. Good job. Drop your right hand down. Let's take it to the other side. Drop your left hand all the way down to the mat. Bring your right hand up high. Let's flow. Open up that right shoulder, extend it up high, all the way to the sky. Now bring your right hand all the way to the mat, frame your left foot, kick it back. Now we're going to vinyasa, come down halfway, kick it back up, come down slow as you can, all the way to the mat. Now we're going to take our knees as wide as the mat, our toes to touch, and push back into a child's pose, Balasana. If your mind has been wandering from future to past, let's stop it. Take a deep breath and return to your mat right here, right now. Let's breathe. Focus on setting those positive, lifelong habits that we're going to do every day for ourselves from here on out. When we return to our mat every day, even if it's just for 10 minutes, we feel so much better for it. Our day goes better. Our decisions are greater. We have more focus and clarity throughout our day. And we move with intent. Take your gaze forward. Come back into your tabletop. From here, we're going to push back up into a downward dog. Pedal it out. Take baby steps or a big hop to the front of your mat. Drop it down into a forward fold. This is more about decompressing the spine. Come up halfway. Drop it back down. Fold your knee, bend your knees in. Roll up one vertebrae at a time to Dasana mountain pose. Great job. Bring your hands all the way to the sky. Full body stretch. Now with your feet as hip distance apart, we're going to squat down into a chair pose here. Find your chair. Engage that prana. Find something you'd like to let go of today. Think about it. Now with a deep inhale and an exhale, let it go. Come back up into chair. Think about it. Hold it. Now let it go. Come back up. Deep breath. Now let it go. Good job. Come back up to mountain, Tadasana. Bring your hands down by your sides. Your hand palms are facing forward. Take a deep breath. Now we're going to set up for tree pose. We're going to balance on our left legs and bring our right leg up to balance either on our shin or our quad, never on our knee. It's all about opening your hip up here. It's not about how high you get your knee. Allow your tree to grow and allow each side to feel differently. Know where you are today. If you find your balance is a little wobbly, take your arms out. Find your tree. And breathe. If you fall, return to the position. Honor where you are today and allow your growth to grow, your yoga to grow. Bring your foot back to the mat. Pedal it out. Then we're going to take our tree to the left side. And notice how each side feels different. One side, you may have had foot surgery. One side, you may have not. Be where you are today and allow it to grow. And if all you can do is kickstand it, it's not about how high you get your knee. It's about this hip opener here. And all your body weight being on one side of your body. And knowing that if anything ever happened to your left side, your right side could hold your body. Breathe deep here. Now bring your knee up to your chest, fold it in, bring it back to center. Now take your hands all the way to the sky and drop it down into a forward fold. Come up halfway. Take your hands to the mat. Let's vinyasa. Good job. Now we're going to come back into a hero pose. Kick your feet out to the front of your mat. We're going to do a little core work here. Find your boat. I want you to take your hands to the back of your legs. Never jerk your feet up. Even if your core is where it needs to be and you're wonderful at doing boat, always reset yourself. Take your hands out by your side or bring them into Namaste. We're going to do 3 sets of boat here. We're going to go to the right, find our center, go to left, find our center. Now allow your breath to move you. Good job. Return your feet down. Take your hands over your knees. Take a deep breath. We're going to do a second set of boat. Find your breath. Come up. Bring your hands to Namaste. Let's go right, center, left, center, right, center, left, center, right, center, left, center. Drop your feet down, hands to go. Good job. Take your feet hip width apart. Take your hands back behind you. Reverse tabletop. Your feet should be halfway to your body and your hands behind you, either facing towards your body or outside. Your body will tell you where you need to be, and push up. Engage your core. Feel your sit bones pushing together. Feel like your heels are peeling towards your hands and trying to reach toward your hands here. And you're wanting to pull your yoga mat together. Take deep breaths here. Take your sit bones down to the earth. Take your hands, fold them over your knees for a minute. Roll your wrists out if that feels good. Take your feet out as long as your mat. Bring your right foot in and set it gently just across your left knee. We're going to take our arms as high as we can and lengthen our spine, and then our twist is going to be over to the right. Our right hand will anchor down behind us to keep us from falling backwards. Our left hand is going to interlock around that knee, and our gaze will be over our right shoulder. Come back to center. Take your right foot out. Take your left foot and gently place it over your right knee. And lengthen your spine again as we sit up and twist to the left side. Focus on your breath today. Think about why you showed up to the mat today. Return to center. Take your feet out long. Windshield wiper your toes if that feels good. Now we're going to close our eyes and engage our core and come down onto our backs. You can get there any way you like, but you can also challenge yourself today and see where you are and engage your core. Now bend your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a big hug. You can roll from left to right here if that feels good. Now take your hands out, stadium arm or cactus arm. Drop your left legs all the way over to your left. And your left hand will be on top of your right knee and your gaze will be over your right shoulder. And breathe. Bring your left hand underneath your left knee. Bring it back to center. Then we're going to drop it down to the right side. Take your right hand and place it above your left knee for a gentle stretch there, and take your gaze over to your left shoulder. Bring your right hand underneath your right knee. Bring it back to center. Give yourself a big hug. Reset. Take your feet out long here. Now we're going to set up and do a little bit more core work. You can take your sit bones and roll to one side to the other and put your hands underneath there for a little more stability. We're going to take our feet all the way to the sky here, like we have a pencil, and we're going to draw 5 circles to the right and 5 to the left, and I'll lead us. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. 1, 2, 3. Breathe deep. 4, 5. We'll reset at the top. Left. 1, 2. Deep breaths. Remember to smile. 3, 4, 5. Stop at the top. Fold your knees in. Give yourself a big hug. You can rock from left to right if that feels good. Take your feet and drop them as close to your body as you can. We're going to set up for a little bridge pose here. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Your palms will be facing down towards your mat. You'll engage your heels, your quad, your core, your sit bones, and you're going to push up. We'll hold this for 5 breaths. Take your hands and interlock them behind your sit bones if that feels good. You can come up on your tippy toes here. 3 more breaths. Release your hands, keep your engagement. Take your hands all the way above your head now. Push up on your tippy toes. Now, one vertebrae at a time, we're going to roll down from the top of our back all the way to our sit bones. And feel that gentle stretch. Once your sit bones are down, release your heels to the mat. Take your palms down by your side. Windshield wiper your knees left to right if that feels good. No yoga robots here. Now we're going to take our feet as wide as our yoga mat. And we're going to set up for the final pose of our practice today, corpse pose, Savasana. We'll take our palms facing the sky, down by your side, or above your head. You know where you want to be today. Let's get in our final resting pose of comfort here, stillness. Wiggle your toes, find some stillness there. Bring it up through your legs to your hands. Come up to your face. Make sure your eyes remain closed. Take the wrinkles out of your forehead. Take deep breaths. Return to your normal breath here. Release the tongue from the top of your mouth. Remind yourself of the intention you set for your yoga today. And to keep an attitude of gratitude for a healthy life. We can always find something to be grateful for and grow from there. You have 20,000 chances a day to return to your present moment, and that's with each breath you take. And right here, right now is all that matters. Allow yourself to stay here as long as your day allows. Focus on your breath and receive all the gifts of showing up to your mat today. Bring your hands to your third eye or your heart. The inner light in me honors and respects the light in you. Thank you so much for showing up and doing yoga with us today. Namaste. And your bodies are really limber right now. If you have headstand in your practice or crow, now would be the time to do some of those poses.